Everything I just said sounds inspirational, it's actually practical. It's not rah-rah shit, like you can do it.
Right.
It's how are you choosing to look at your life? And then if you practically realize opportunity and be grateful for whatever the fuck you have, because somebody's always got it worse, well then it starts getting interesting. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy?
DJ Will.
Such a pleasure. How are you?
It's a pleasure for us. How are you?
Great.
It's
How are you, my man? It's a real pleasure.
It's ridiculous, DJ Mr. Famous. Yeah.
It's a real pleasure. Nice to meet you. Hello.
Hi, I'm Natasha.
Natasha, how are you?
Good.
Good. What's good, everyone?
I had already been following you for a while.
Yeah, we all
and
Thank you so much.
I almost answering the questions that people ask you because I already know what you're gonna say.
Yep.
I almost feel stupid to ask questions because I'm like,
Well, sometimes it's what I like about it still, to your point, I'm so consistent. Sometimes people make fun of me of like, you say the same shit. I'm like, that's the fucking point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like people when they leave comments or say to me like, you say the same shit, think they're dissing me. I'm like, motherfucker, that's the point.
I mean, it's already drilled in my head.
Right. And then, but where it's nuanced and why it's nice to meet people is sometimes it can be subtly nuanced. Right. Everybody's question comes from a slightly different point. The big part of what I'm trying to figure out what to do is like, back to what I was just saying, there are 13 to 27 things that are the things. Then it's like, what's up in your life? Right. Somebody has a sick mother. Somebody's trying to fucking rule the world. They don't care about money, they want fucking fame. Some people want fame, some want legacy, some just want their kid to be proud of them because they're not proud of their dad or mom. Like there's so much shit underneath it, but the foundation, the shit I'm spitting, it's fucking real. And then the other thing that you don't know when you're 15 and a fucking knucklehead is life is long, thank God. Mm-hmm. Obviously, tragically, sometimes no, but like,
for the most part, yeah.
There's a very high chance that the four of us are gonna live for 50 years each longer.
Right. Thanks.
There's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
We were parented and grandparented by people who didn't live to 100, but we are.
Right.
So that's the shit I'm trying to get people to think about.
Right.
How old are you?
43.
Right, so like when we were fucking 18, 43 seemed like 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm 46, you know? Right?
You're like, ew.
Right?
I'm still young, what do you mean?
But now we're like, I don't know, like I'm 44, like I feel like I got my whole life in front of me.
Yeah.
Obviously we've been through some shit,
Right.
but like there's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I started feeling last couple of years like, damn, I'm old. Like, is this it? And then,
You know what ends up happening in your game is when you're in something that has youth culture in it,
Right.
you see somebody doing something special that you're proud of for them or happy for them or envious of them, and they're 19, you're like, damn.
Right.
My whole thing is like, don't look at them, look at the other 4 billion people that are 80 doing shit.
Right.
Everyone's like, but Gary, look at Mark Zuckerberg, he's 25, or look at fucking Chance the Rapper, he already did. I'm like, what about the fucking 8 trillion fucking people that are 80 doing shit and still haven't broke through? Why are you looking at the 0.000000001% to judge your happiness? Why don't we look at the fucking masses?
Right.
Us sitting in this room, us being in America, we're already winning.
Thanks.
Perspective.
Respect.
And once you see gratitude and opportunity, life is fun. When you think something's suppressing you, it's easier for you to feel suppressed, minority, all that. I get it. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's actually true. But once you get into what am I gonna look at, a lot of things are true. What was true for me is I spent the first 20 years building my parents' business for them. That was my truth. Like, lots of things are true.
so
Kobe's life was good, and then had a tragic end. Like, life, there's a lot of truth. But people, you get to decide if you're gonna dwell and play prevent defense, or if you're gonna see opportunity and be grateful and go on offense. Right. That's what I'm trying to get people through. I could sit with anybody, show me the richest white male in America, and he'll cry about some shit like his mom was horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like, you pick.
Everybody have a story.
Yeah, show me, and then everybody knows somebody who's got all sorts of fucked up situations, and they're happy. That's called perspective.
You're right.
I know. Everybody can talk about somebody who's happier than them that has it way worse, and sadder than them that has it way better, right? And if that's true, which it is for everybody if you think, then that becomes the actual game. That's what I think about. And that's what I'm trying to make popular. And that's why I think it's making an impact. Because it leads to a nice place, you know?
Great impact.
Yeah, because I come from a place that's more zero, and so and the way I talk to people in that spot is not looking down at them, and it's not even trying to inspire them. It's just real. Everything I just said sounds inspirational. It's actually practical. It's not rah-rah shit like you can do it.
Right.
It's how are you choosing to look at your life? And then if you practically realize opportunity and be grateful for whatever the fuck you have, because somebody's always got it worse, well then it starts getting interesting.
Other than the money, what's driving you to?
The best part is the money's not driving me at all.
But I see that.
Yeah, like I could be really, really wealthy if that was my game. I like the legacy, I like the admiration, I like these moments. I like people, I really like people.
Yeah.
I got really lucky that social media came along where people interaction went to scale, because the way people look at me now is just like the way that they looked at me when I was a kid in my crew. I was the nice person. I was the person that like my high school friends popping out, they're like, actually this makes sense. You gave up popularity because you could have had it because every popular kid liked you, because you wanted to be friends with everybody, and that cost you in high school. But that's who you actually are. The sports card flex wasn't to say, look at me, I put 50 into LeBron, now it's 200,000. That video was, motherfucker, I just told you 9 months ago to do this. You could have done it too with one LeBron.
Right.
Guess what? Because I was there. When you have $1,000 to spend on something and it becomes worth 4,000 and you could buy it on eBay and sell it on eBay between April and February, that shit matters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I think all of us can remember when $1,000 was a big fucking deal, and the thought of making a good decision doing something, and 5 months later you have 4,000, that fucking resonates to all of us. I remember that day like yesterday. We're fucking taking 1,000 to 4,000,
Yeah.
but what do people do? They go to a casino. But what do people do? They bet. But what do people do? They do dumb shit. And I'm saying it's that same hustle's out here. You know basketball players? Good. So it's why I'm confusing, because when I do it, right, I understand how it can be seen. I'm just not worried about the judgment. For every person that DMs me like, you're a fucking asshole, who has $50,000 to buy sport cards? I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't hear what I said. This wasn't for you. You've decided to look at the perspective of coming up with excuses why you're not winning. Motherfucker, I had nothing. There's a lot of people out there that do have $1,000 who are trying to get going. The system fucks me. No, it doesn't. You know LeBron's the best. You know sports cards are coming. I'm giving it to you for free because you're following me on social media. Go and buy the fucking LeBron. You can have 4,000 now.
Right.
By the way, it's going to 10,000.
Right, I see.
Straight up. I'm telling you right to your face right now. If you have $4,000, you can go on eBay, buy a LeBron. It's 4,000, and 6,000 in July when they're in the finals. Some people are like, I don't care about 2,000 bucks. I'm like, buy 80 of them. That's 160,000 bucks. So what I'm trying to do in a lot of different ways is trying to teach, but I'm doing it from an angle where some people really hear me, and that's why they're growing, and some people don't like it because they don't want to do it. I'm putting pressure.
Yeah, that pressure's real.
I'm putting pressure. I'm poking. I'm like, cool, you're more than welcome to complain. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares, man. And like when I talk to African American, I wish 100% of every white person in America knew what it was like to get pulled over 13 times in a year. It's just something they'll never know. All my friends in college were black, but it still wasn't me. I was in it. I did get pulled over all those times because I was in the car. But even though I knew it, you don't know it until you're in it, and you still can't fully feel it when you're not it.
Right.
But it'd be nice to even know how true it is. That's what everything is. So that's the example of race issues. Then there's the example of opportunity. I wish everybody knew that had $100 right now, that if they went garage selling to Goodwill and the dollar store and worked instead of crying about it, and 6 months later had 2,000, I wish they could taste it.
Certain things.
Because pride is a lot of times disguising insecurity.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're worried about somebody seeing you go to the dollar store and you're not looking. They'd rather spend $800 they don't have on some Weatherspoons than spend $100 to go to the dollar store, buy 40 or 50 of these things, and everyone's laughing at them. I just didn't give a fuck. The ability to not give a fuck.
I think that's it.
Of course that's it. That's why if you look, Russian immigrants and African Americans are very simple. They flex for perception, not truth.
Right.
That's real.
If you didn't see, he used to go around the garage sales,
Yeah.
That's why I do it now.
dolls,
And
FDR
I do it now, and here's what happens in the comments on YouTube. I go in garage sale and I'll do it in a couple of months when it warms up. And and I'm trying to teach people, so when somebody's like $6, I'm like $3. And in the comments, if your perspective is complaining and shit's fucked up, they're like, fuck this guy, you're a fucking millionaire. The fuck are you ripping these people off, right? On the flip side, I'm getting the DMs and the comments from people like, you taught me. Now I do this. Now I quit this bullshit job, got a different job because I'm making enough of my side hustle of garage sailing. I'm happy now. That I need to be able to deal with the judgment of somebody calling me a millionaire ripping off poor people. That hurts. That's not my intent.
Right.
I didn't steal it.
But I still want to.
I went to a garage sale. They wanted $6. I offered them $3. They were pumped. They were pumped. They were happy. They were happy. They were. I'm there. I know. They were thrilled. That's garbage. They were about to throw that out. They were pumped. But no, cynicism. The kid laying in YouTube, watching that YouTube video, watching me, who doesn't want to work. Oh, I see how he got ahead. He took advantage of people. You have an excuse to not work.
My first perspective of it was the pride. I was like, I don't know how he's fucking going in garage sales.
Bro, the amount of people that hit me up, my friends are like, yo, you can't do this. You look stupid. And literally, on that first day I did it, first I think I did on Instagram stories before I did a YouTube video, and I DM my friends back, I was like, you don't know me, you think you know me now. This is who I am, I'm dirt. I'm dirt. You think I'm penthouse, I'm dirt. I'm dirt.
It's the art of
And that's right, and that's why I think I resonate in certain pockets, whether it's the culture, because I'm dirt.
You understand it.
I definitely understand it.
Right.
I lived it.
And that's what
I was in it.
They don't understand it, so they don't know how to.
They don't understand that I'm going to Chicago this weekend and I'm gonna win the spades tournament. But I know. And that's what people say. Every time something comes out that gives people a little bit of perspective, it's the same old thing. They're like, oh, now I get it.
Right.
I'm dirt.
I love it. I'm on it all day long.
But the number one thing is to invest in yourself, though, at all times.
The number one thing is to find happiness on your terms and then reinforce it so much that you can't even hear people's opinions on what you should be doing to be happy. I did it for so long, like this is perfect. When this is your report, like this is the shit, right? Like again, you start hitting the scene and everybody sees you, but if people knew that I was literally, this is my entire high school, my class rank was 243 out of 254. I was literally the 11th worst student in my entire grade. I'm dirt. This whole system told me I was a loser, that I would never amount to nothing. We're in the same age group. There was no entrepreneurship when we were coming up. There was hustle for you guys.
Right.
But like in my world, there wasn't entrepreneur, that wasn't a thing. You weren't starting a company, go to college, right? How many times do we hear that? Go to college, as if it was the only fucking path. But for me, why I'm at this place at this young of an age is back then I knew. I'm like, cool, you keep telling me, but I'm in my own head. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna be nice to the nerds, because they're humans. Right. I'm gonna sell baseball cards in the lunchroom while you all laugh at me, because I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't need your fucking confirmation, affirmation, or cosign. In my head at 12, I'm like, you're gonna want my cosign. And now I'm right. Practice that. Practice.
100%.
And then also, like another thing that I'm really trying to talk to people about is like, everybody else sucks too. Like one thing that really worked for me, and I'm starting to talk about it, is like when I would feel bad, I'm I never envied anybody because I would look at somebody and no matter what somebody's dunking and I'm like barely got my jump shot down, I'm like, yeah, but they suck at, they're not nice.
Right.
Or like to me it's like, why are you beating yourself up and putting somebody else on a pedestal? They got fucking shortcomings too. Right? Like they're just human.
Right.
And then what that does is a weird thing. Then you start celebrating people instead of envying them.
But to stop for a second, then in our culture, that seems like you're a hater.
Hating, right.
So it's a difference where you're
get it.
saying like you're not nice, but then
Here's the
our
best,
culture,
you'll appreciate
like,
this.
you're a
Every
hater.
culture is the same. That's the slang term we use in that culture.
Yeah.
Like my grandma uses that term too. She was a white Russian woman. She had a term for it, jealousy. You know what I mean? You know, in Russian, in Yiddish. Like every culture's got the same shit. They just use different words. It's all the same shit.
Right.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
Just different words. You just say it better. That's why it became the lay of the land. Honestly, on some real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hip hop is rock and roll. Those were gutter kids
Right.
that were anti the establishment,
Facts.
right? And you can already see it right now with sexual preferences, transgender, other things. That's gonna be the next culture.
Yeah.
It's been written.
Yeah.
In 30 years, right? It's been written. Because now there's somebody more suppressed than you.
Yeah.
That's all that happens. It's always the same. The kids from the dirt always win in the end. If they can keep their mind right. Most can't and they feel the pressure and they break. But the small percentage that realizes it's a strength, not a weakness,
They win.
yeah, that's why when I make content, people are confused. I'm like talking about rich kids and I'm like, you don't get it. They've been told they can't win. So they've already lost. Their parents are taking care of everything. Every time I put out that content, the whole suppress comes at me like, fuck you. I'd rather cry in a Mercedes. I'm like, you don't get it. It's because you, right? Just like your white friend saying, I get it, the cops are about,
Right.
Well, guess what?
Get it.
If you're not a rich kid, you don't get it either.
Right.
I understand you want the Mercedes. Let me tell you about the fucking deep pain that's going on when your parents in the world, and no matter what you accomplish, everyone's gonna say it was your daddy's money. You lost.
Right.
When you start at zero or suppressed, at least you have a chance to climb out and then be on you have a hope. You could be on a pedestal. You're admired from coming from it. When you're the other way, you lost before you start, there's nothing you can do.
That's why a lot of them break.
And they really break.
Right. They
I'm talking
completely.
suicide.
Right.
Like,
Right.
mental health. It's so funny, and I gotta run. So much about white privilege. I think about it a lot, obviously, because I care about these cultures, how they mix. When we get to mental health privilege, that's gonna be the biggest conversation. If you are privileged enough to have self-esteem through chemicals and parenting, you've won. And that's what I'm trying to do for my audience. I'm trying to be the gap of building up their self-esteem, but first you have to be not entitled and stop complaining.
Stop complaining.
Because nobody's listening but another fucking loser. The only person that listens to somebody complain is somebody else that complains. And you get into right? And you get into one big dinner of dwell fest, and everybody leaves unhappy, like as if and nobody's doing shit about it.
Nobody doing shit.
So, fellas, that was fun.
We gotta take a picture.
We got in it.
We gotta take a picture.